This is a 2007 Jeep Rubicon, and we are upgrading the whole entire electrical system today. We have a brand new excess power battery D3400. That is definitely going to help and replace the stock battery that's in it. This is my cousin's Jeep, and she is having bad electrical problems with the battery dying and it not being able to crank. So we're going to see if we can fix that today. Also, we are upgrading it with a 250 amp alternator from JS Alternators, specifically made for this Jeep Rubicon. And the last thing that we're going to do to it is upgrade all of the wires. The stock ones just aren't going to cut it because of how small the wire is from the factory. I want to say it's like a 8-gauge wire that's actually on the vehicle from the factory, and that's not going to cut it because we are upgrading the alternator to a bigger one. So we are running the Big3 kit as well, and we're going to go ahead and upgrade all of those wires. Also, to go along with the excess power battery, we have these V-gate terminals that will help us run all the additional wires for all the accessories that have already been run. Kind of just to clean up the wire some, make it look a whole lot better, and get rid of all of that junk and all that mess. It makes it a whole lot easier. It kind of labels everything and puts it into place, and it's a lot easier to install your wires putting on the battery, and it gives you more options and more space to put it up there as well. Also, looking at the Big3 Upgrade, you're gonna have your 3 wires, your 2 negative wires, and then you're gonna have a positive wire. And by 2 negative wires, you're gonna have one that goes from the negative side of the battery to the frame, and then another one that goes to that spot on the frame to the engine block, or another piece of metal that would be a good ground on your vehicle. And then the positive just goes from the positive side of the battery on over to the top of the new alternator, which, with it being a 250 amp alternator, that is going to give it a whole lot of juice. But always make sure that you have good grounds on it as well. Because we are running the V-gate terminals on top of the battery, we have these reducers that we have to put basically on the Big3 Upgrade. So one side is going to go into the reducer into the V-gate terminal, and then the other side is just going to get mounted to the frame. But I'm going to go ahead and show y'all exactly how we're going to do it. The first thing we're going to do is wash the engine bay because it is super nasty, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and get everything clean, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Got everything cleaned up, and I'm letting the motor dry. I drove it down the road to try to get some of the water off, let everything heat up real nice. But now the next step is we're going to go ahead and try to get the old alternator off so we can put the new one on, and then we're going to get that hooked up, and then I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Alright guys, so after getting the alternator off, it kind of got dark on me because I was sitting there trying to plan everything out, like how am I going to put the new one on, and the belt's really tight, and just wiring everything up and getting everything clean and right. So I will finish it tomorrow, or I'll try my best at least anyways, but I will see y'all in the morning. Peace. Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the next morning. We are about to start working on the Jeep. So if you look right here, I already went ahead and took the battery out this morning. I got to clean up some of these wires right here. I'm also about to go ahead and slap the new alternator on as well. So as soon as I get that on, I will pick up the camera. But yes, we're going to go ahead and put the alternator in first, get that good to go, and then we're going to slap the battery in and then run the Big 3 upgrade as well. Go ahead and get that into place. Alrighty guys, so we got the new alternator on, we got everything wired up. I also went ahead and put the serpentine belt back on, and I found a cool trick. I found this on another YouTube video that I watched because I was having a hard time getting the serpentine belt loose. But come to find out, if you have your ratchet wrench right here, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look right down in there, you're gonna have a square in your tensioner pulley. So what you want to do is take your ratchet wrench and slide it into the square like that. So all you got to do is just push down on it, and then it completely loosens it. Look, and then it loosens your whole entire belt. So that was a cool trick that I found out to do on that. Now the next step of what we're going to do, since we went ahead and got the alternator on and we got the serpentine belt on, I'm going to go ahead and drop the battery in and try to clean some of these wires and get that straight, and then after that we're going to move on to the Big 3 upgrade. But let's go ahead and put in the battery right now. Alright guys, I'm sorry for the hard cut. I had to do a bunch of tedious work basically. This battery right here, there's like 20 different wires running to it. So it took me a while to kind of figure it out and get everything to basically just be plug and play onto the new terminal that we have. But I went ahead, I got all of that fixed. It took a long time. It was a lot of boring work, so I didn't even film it because I knew it would just take way too long and it would just be boring. So anyways, I went ahead, I got the battery put in, I got everything hooked up. We got the new alternator up there as well, and I've already ran the Big 3, and I'm gonna kind of show you and explain everything. So if you look right here, it still looks like a complete mess because whoever did this wiring job just did not do a good job, and everything is scattered everywhere. But we have everything put into place. We have our Big 3 right here running off of the V-gate terminal all the way over here to the alternator. We have it right there running to the top of the alternator. That is your power wire. And then you're also gonna have your negative wire running off of the V-gate terminal on the negative side of the battery. And then basically I ran that from the negative down to, it's kind of hard to see, but basically I ran it down to this frame spot right here. Then in the instructions, it also said to run your other ground cable from the bolt onto the alternator onto another ground. So basically what I did is I ran it from the left side bolt on this Jeep right here, because if you run it from the right side, it's kind of hard to because the belt's in the way. I would run it on the left side bolt so your belt won't be in the way. Then I got it ran up and to the ground right over there in the corner. So everything should be grounded properly. everything should be good to go. I'm basically gonna clean all this mess up, zip tie everything, make it look a lot neater. There's not much I can do about all this wiring mess over here with the battery. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take everything out and redo it. But I'm gonna go ahead, zip tie the Big 3 Upgrade, make it look a whole lot nicer, and then it should be good to go. We're gonna crank it up and see how it does. Whew. All right, guys, we finally got it all tidied up. It looks a whole lot better. There's still just a bunch of wires that don't look great to me, but we have the Big 3 already put in, everything zip tied. It looks very good. So here's exactly what it looks like. So I kind of got everything zip tied and looked real neat over here. That doesn't look neat at all still, but everything is plugged up, plugged in exactly how it should be. So let's go ahead and crank it up and see what happens. Well, we got power. It cranked up real easy. It actually cranked up a whole lot better than it usually does. Yeah, usually when it cranks up, it takes about 3 times for it to turn over before it really wants to crank up, and it fired up immediately right then. So that was a really good sign. I'm guessing everything's plugged up. I'm gonna see if I can read the voltage on the cluster inside of the vehicle and kind of see what it's reading. I don't exactly know what it was before, but I know it was dropping tremendously because that was one of the big problems with all the accessories being hooked up, was the voltage was just draining and the battery was shot. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can read it right now. So it doesn't show the voltage on the voltage meter inside of the cluster. Apparently this one doesn't have it. I actually just went ahead and checked. So I have a voltage meter inside of the house, and I'm about to go ahead and grab that and hook it up and kind of see how many volts we're reading. So it's actually reading perfect. It's reading 14.4, and it doesn't really seem like it's dropping at all, so that's really good. Yeah, it's staying steady at 14.4. That's perfect. That's exactly where you want it to be. 14.3, 14.4. It could just be how I'm holding the connection up here. Now, I know this Jeep has subs in the back, so I'm gonna try to play that and also test the voltage to kind of see where it's at, to see if it drops or if it kind of stays the same. Personally, in my opinion, with the 250 amp alternator, the Big 3 Upgrade, and the excess power D3400 battery, I don't really think it's gonna drop much at all. I think it's got a good power system. Here are the subs. I wanna say it's like 210s or 212s in the back. It's nothing too crazy, but it does have a few subs, so we're gonna turn on the radio, see what they sound like, and make sure that the voltage is good and everything. So we're about to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so we got the subs playing right now, we got the radio on, and let's see what the voltage looks like with the music playing wide open. Yeah, wow, I mean, it's playing, it's right at 14.4. I mean, it's really not moving at all. 14.3, 14.4, 14.5. I mean, that's just at idle. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, there you go, guys. That is exactly how you put the excess power battery and the 250 amp alternator upgrade on a 2007 Jeep Rubicon. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like and drop a comment. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah.